there are different categories of rich people in the society. There are those that want to show you that they are rich. They'll make noise. They'll shout about their riches. There are those that will have to identify themselves with a particular class in the society. So when you look at them, you see a particular class. But there are those we call the old wealth or old money. Those people do not make noise. They are relaxed. They do not even want you to notice them. But immediately you look at them, what they own, what they wear, you can tell that this person has a lot of money. And one of the products those people appreciate is what I'm standing with here. And this is the Volkswagen Toureg, the 2013 model. But before we go into that, remember this is Tash Auto Collections. And I promised you that we will always venture into the past, the present, and the future of the automobile industry. So today we bring you the redriven machine in the Kenyan market. And before we dissect into it, remember, this is David Kunguru, your auto consult with Tash Auto Collections. Let us experience the automotive opulence. So before I talk about the Touareg in specifics, remember this one is an R-line trim. R-line trim is one of the highest trim levels of the VW Touareg. When you are getting them, you can either get them as the base model or you can get them as the R-line. And those features, I'm going to mention them so that you get the distinct difference about them. So I think specifically that is why you will find maybe some badges of R-line here and there. So before we proceed, let us just look at the exterior of the car and see what it has to offer us. So just as I've told you that the VW Touareg is not a car that needs a lot of shouting. We can even look at how it looks from the front. You see that of course it has a double grille that has been given some chrome finishing. The meaning of the chrome finishing, or rather the importance, is just to ensure that it gives you the feel of luxury. But it has the double one, so you can see. And then another thing you also want to note is the daytime running lights that have come as standard full LED, because this is a luxury trim. So those are some of the things you expect. Something special about the Touareg from the models that came from 2012, you find that they had upgraded ones where they have something we call anti-glare, that when you are driving it, you are able to see very clearly, but you are not really dazzling the oncoming traffic. That is a very, very good convenience feature. I think that is what we can look at from the front. The fog lights, this is a machine that you expect that to come by. You may not be able to see some of the features, especially when it comes to body sensors, but this car, trust me, has a lot of tech inside that will enable you to traverse even through the tight spaces. Before I finish with the front, it has the headlight washers. It's also a good convenience feature that when you are maybe running through the mud, you are able to clean your lights without struggle. Let us look at the side profile and see what the R-Line has to offer. On the side profile of this 2013 Touareg, you see that it's not so small, but again, it's not so big, because this one is basically a mid-sized SUV. Just one thing I want us, or rather two things I want us to talk about, is the side mirror. You find that they have also been enhanced with the indicators to just ensure that the traffic beside you sees what you are doing. And then maybe talking about the wheels, you can get the 20-inch alloys, but these ones are 21-inch alloys that are very firm, very strong. And the tires of the R-Line, all R-Lines come with all-season tires. When you are talking about the tires, those are some of the things. And the disadvantage with the all-season tires is that they tend to give you some noise when you are moving around, because they grasp the road very firmly. Now, before I leave, or rather before I move to something else, talking about the tires, let us just talk about the suspensions. You can, given the Touareg, you can get in two. You can either get the suspensions, or both rear and the front, but this one has come with the shock absorbers, or rather the springs. So those are some of the things that you need to note when you're talking about the side profiles. Both, they're independent, so both the front and the rear, they do not have the suspensions, but they have the what? They have the springs. I think that is what we can talk about on the side profile. You can see it is basically sizable given its class. And just talking about the class, remember, this is a car that also shares the DNA with the likes of the Porsche Cayenne and also things like Audi Q7. So that is why you will see that the size is almost similar. But we shall talk about that when we are talking about the engine. Let us look at the rear. So the rear of the Touareg is not so shouting, but before I proceed to talk about the rear, we are looking for your support. That I'll continue to ask you, because looking at our analytics currently with the few videos that we have already posted, we see that a lot of you are watching but have not subscribed. So kindly continue to subscribe so that we are able to even bring you the quality content that we desire. I think that is enough about that. So on the rear, it has the basic look. There is no much upgrade, even if you are considering the 2009 and the 2013 that we are reviewing today. There is no much difference, because I've already told you that they are not so shouting. When it comes to the tailgate, of course, it's automated. That is a convenience feature. Having spent around 5 million Kenyan shillings to purchase this car, those are some of the things that you expect. Just the downsize, or rather the downgrade, I don't know how I can put it, about this particular unit is that they give you a very funny spare tire that is already deflated. What you have to do, because they have given you the pressure pump, you have to stop, you have to pump it, and then because you will connect it to the battery and then replace the tire. Being someone who has money, I think that is a struggle when it comes to replacing, or rather having a spare tire of this kind. So that is, I think, a disadvantage, rather a very inconvenience feature about this one. The boot space, you can see, very sufficient. If you are hauling cargo in this car, because this is a car that you can use even for adventure, going off-road, going home, carrying family, because it's an all-round machine. So you get sufficient space because it's actually a 5-seater. So I think that's enough about the rear. And before we go inside, I would like us to talk about what powers up the 2013 Touareg. I will continue to insist that a Touareg is meant for people who have old money, people who are quiet. And that is why you find that even the hood, the top of the hood, has been given the shocks to help you have that convenience that you desire. Now, what powers up this machine is a very, very powerful engine. A Touareg is run on what we call the TDI engine. This one is a 3-liter V6 diesel engine. Is a turbo direct injection engine that powers up the car. The best thing about this engine is that it is powerful and it has proven reliability even when it comes to other cars, because it shares the DNA, as I've told you, with the likes of the Q7, the Porsche Cayenne, and even the Bentley Bentayga. Now, lastly, remember, it is an engine that is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission gearbox. You can get a petrol version, but they are very rare. But these ones you get the diesel version. It's a V6 engine and it is pushing to around 240 horsepower and giving you around 550 kilometers. 550 Newton meters of torque. Talking about torque, something special you need to note about the Touareg is that it has the ability, it's electronically enabled, that it can enhance power to go to one wheel. You find that 100% of torque, that is 550 torque, going on one wheel if need be. That means that if you get stuck and that wheel is spinning, all the force and the power is centered on that particular wheel to ensure that you continue moving. I think that is much we can talk about it. Being a diesel engine, there are some issues that have been registered. I would also like to mention that, and those are some of the issues to do with the nozzles and the injectors, and things to do with the DPF that can always be handled. But remember, this is not a car that you buy if you are crying about fuel, you are crying about maintenance costs and all other things. This is a car for people who have money to maintain it, because you can even spend 200,000 Kenyan shillings on one item to replace in this particular car. Let us look at the interior and see what it has to offer. So the VW Touareg gives you a little bit of basic interior given its class, because if we are comparing it with a Porsche Cayenne and Audi Q7 and even some other mid-sized SUVs of its class, then we can say that it has a base interior. However, that base interior has been given a lot of tech. This car, when we are talking about tech, we talk about the safety features like the cruise controls that have come as standard on this side of the steering, so that you are able to maintain while moving on the road. And then another safety feature is that it has a lot of airbags that will protect you even when you are rolling. Another safety feature we can also talk about when talking about this car, we also see that it has what we call the stability controls. The stability control that will help you when you are moving at faster rate, then it has to maintain your stability. So and so many other features when it comes to the braking and every other thing in the interior. So it may not look so appealing, but it has been given that tech, which is not really featured on that. Now at the center console, this is a bit basic, so it will give you some a 6.5 inch screen that is not so much when you are controlling it, but it gives you what you just need. The climate controls, I really do not want to talk about those some of those basic things, but it's just things to mention that it has come with memory seats. They are also electric. You can adjust, you can recline them, you can do all manner of things. You see, I can move and then I can also move forward. I think those are convenience features that you expect in a mid-sized SUV. As I said, that the best thing about the Touareg is that it gives you a lot of safety features to enjoy. Even when you are getting tired, the funny thing is that it will detect. It has what we call the driver fatigue monitor that will help you so that you are comfortable. It will warn you so that you pull over and have some rest. It has the plastic at the center console. It has the storage that is so enough. The storage that is enough for whatever you need. Also the cup holders or the coffee cup holders, the storage over here, and you can also charge because it has the 12 volts. The door bins are sufficient, and another thing is that it has a 12 stereo system. So it has 12 speakers that surround this car, and it gives you that very good feeling. And apart from tech, another thing that differentiates the Touareg R-Line from the normal ones is that it has the sunroof. So you can always set the sunroof so that you enjoy the luxury that comes with a panoramic sunroof. It runs all the way to the back, so you get to enjoy that. I would not be able to go at the back. Just remember that this is a redriven car, so basically I just wanted you to get a glimpse of what has been there in the world of Volkswagen. We cannot forget the leather seats because it's a luxury machine. As I told you, it's meant for people who have old money, so they need that luxury that is not really shouting. Now I am always urging you to help us, to support us, so that we continue to give you the content. We are working on getting more equipment. We are working on doing advanced production, and without your support, we may not be able to get there. So continue to support us. In case you want to reach out, our number is 0769855353, and all our social media platforms at Touch Auto Collections. You will always find us there. So it's very wonderful that you people are giving us the support, and thank you. It has been an interesting redriven review with the 2013 VW Touareg. Continue to follow us because we will bring you more and more of these machines. Thank you so much for always supporting us. This is David Kunguru with Touch Auto Collections, and our main objective is just to help you experience the automotive opulence.